torneo as well, right?
Almost there.
You don't have to answer this if you don't want to, Lucanus, but how did the Venatori stick you with spite?
They fed me something. Like he was a parasite in uncooked meat.
You know, I've spent lots of time around demons, but I've never heard of them being used that way.
Zara said she got the idea from some cult in Orlais. They used it on Seekers, who are immune to demons. Ha! Come on, Ilario will meet us at Cafe Pietra. It's not that far from here. We have time before he arrives. I wouldn't mind looking around a while. The markets are running. Good. I need to get some things while we're here. Treviso. I barely had time to look around when we returned from the ossuary.
This place, does it feel very different?
In some ways, more than I expected. But then, perhaps it's me.
I love meeting new clients. Back to cataloging then.
Ah, here.
Let me know if you'd like to see anything closer.
A potted plant?
For Harding's garden. Spearmint is supposed to calm bad dreams. It's good in desserts, too.
So, you and Ilario are cousins?
Yes, but we're more like brothers. Katarina took us both in, a long time ago now. Here's the place. Bellara mentioned the daily seafood recipe she wants to make.
The demon of Virantium is grocery shopping for the team?
Have you seen what they eat? It's a miracle you didn't all starve before you hired me.
When we met, it didn't seem like Ilario and Katerina were close.
It was hard to be close to her, even for me. And I was her favorite. A good selection. Fresh fruit. Nev only eats fried fish. You'd think a detective would have discovered scurvy by now.
Is that everything on the list?
Yes, and Ilario should be here by now. Let's go before he gets himself in trouble.
You can't buy something for everyone but yourself. Here, this is for you.
A wyvern-toothed dagger? I loved wyverns as a boy. Katarina would never let me have one of these, though. Cafe Pietra is just ahead.
That's where we're meeting your cousin? Why not the casino?
House Cantori has many talents. Making coffee is not one of them.
Finally. I thought you might leave me here all by my lonesome.
Please. You think I'd ever pass up Cafe Pietra's coffee?
You see, Rook? My cousin is all stomach and no heart.
Don't mind him. Ilario cannot appreciate anything but himself. They serve a specialty roast here, Andoral's breath. Bitter and sweet, like a kiss goodbye. You should try it.
Right. I know we came here for coffee, but I prefer tea.
Ugh.
Nobody's listening. Should we get to business?
There's still the one at table 3.
She just left to follow the waitress.
So, you have something?
The crows I sent after Sarah have picked up her trail. They say she's gone to Virantium.
We could be in Virantium in no time with the Alluvian.
It won't matter. Zara's not in Virantium.
You have better information?
We're compromised. There's no other way Zara could even touch Katerina. You need your eyes here, in Antiva.
Zara would never be foolish enough to stay. Not with you out for blood.
Of course she would. If the crows protecting her are here.
Rook, reason with him, would you? He's being paranoid.
I am not paranoid. She came after me. She came after Katerina. She will come for you too.
If it'll make you feel better, I'll clean house, all right? Leave this to me.
He's gone.
Of course he is. Ilario always caves under pressure.
Let him. Crow business or not, we'll find Zara ourselves.
Good.
How's the coffee? As good as you remembered?
Better. I dreamed about this coffee for a year. They say taste and smell awaken our strongest memories. For so long, memories were all I had. But whatever the circumstances, the here and now is a much finer place to be. How's your tea?
Bold and refreshing. I feel ready for anything. Ready to head back to the lighthouse?
Almost.
A sharp eye, a quick mind, and luck. That's most of the job.
So, do you think I could become one? An investigator?
It takes a certain amount of focus, too.
Oh, okay, well, maybe not then. I still can't believe it. I'm talking to the Nev Gallus.
And that's sweet, but I don't need the flattery.
Right, just a person I'll try to remember.
Rook, here to join us?
Just came to see how Balara's doing.
Oh, I'm good. Great, even. Nev and I were just talking, casually.
Balara had more questions about my work. She can be quite persuasive.
It all sounds so exciting. The things you've done, the people you've helped.
Those are the ones that go well. You don't hear about the rest. Everyone wants a scandal. Or a happy ending.
Or both, like the time you told the Marquis to—
Hold on. I don't think Rook's interested in that story.
I'm not one to push for details.
Maybe another time. Over bad coffee or expensive wine.
Speaking of, what's the situation with cooking exactly? Are we on a rotation or what? I can help out. I'm a pretty good cook, with some things at least. Well, most of the time. Sometimes I get distracted and things burn.
Oh, good. It's not just me.
Do you mostly cook Dalish foods? I haven't had a chance to try many.
Sometimes. Not a lot of options when you're out in the forest. But I've learned a lot of different cooking styles. And Tevan, Rivani. Oh, I even learned how to make Tevinter Khachapuri.
Wait, real khachapuri? The hollowed out bread? 3 kinds of cheese? I love khachapuri. What about you, Rook? What are you craving?
Nothing right now. I'm just happy you two are hitting it off. I'll see you later.
Rook, do you have a minute?
Of course. Something wrong?
Thea wants to meet.
That doesn't sound like a bad thing.
She wants to plan Katerina's funeral.
Oh, right.
If you don't mind, I could use some backup. In case Spike gets out of hand.
Let's not keep Taya waiting.
For me?
the deeper currents.
So, how well do you know the Viper? Because I've heard things
Oh? What things?
like no one really knows who he is.
Is that right?
That maybe he used to be a slave and now fights slavers?
That would make sense.
Or that he's the Archon or a Magister in disguise.
Decent theory.
You know, don't you? You know!
What makes you say that?
You totally know.
You had me followed. Inquired about me.
I needed to be sure. The Knight Commander.
Lenos is playing for the other side, so Tarquin's probably dirty too. After all the shit we've been through, I thought I'd earned some trust.
I did it to protect the Shadow Dragons and the cause.
A Candlehop. They carry messages through the city.
Why does everyone call him the Viper?
Are we here for the Shadow Dragons?
I trade news with the Shadows, but it takes more than one source to get along here. Besides, I was doing this before they came knocking, before Varret, too, right here in Docktown.
Nothing like coming back to the city.
You miss it.
Yes. No. I don't know.
An honest answer.
I can barely keep things straight as it is. And Minrathis
doesn't make things easy. Come on. There's paper sellers all over here.
Want to see if they got your name right?
Most papers don't say much, but read between the lines and you pick up a thing or two. I'm not here as much lately. I'll take what news I can get. Let's grab a few copies. We'll see if we can find Balara's serials, too. All right, let's go.
So, before Varric, before the Shadows, you worked for...
Same as now. People who find me and have jobs worth taking. Docktown people, runaways, the desperate.
And you do this on your own?
I've got contacts, informants, people I cross paths with, but at the end of the day, yeah, it's just me. Okay, keep an eye out for paper sellers. We'll start on the north side of Lower City.
How many do we need?
Don't worry, I'm paying. Let's get started.
The best word in Ducktown, right here.
How did you fall in with the Shadows?
I'd worked with some of them before. Not that they were upfront about it.
What changed?
I was after a missing person. The Viper was hunting slavers. Our paths had the same end.
And you're a missing person?
Free and breathing. When we finished, the shadows brought me in after that.
So most of the time you work here alone. You like it that way?
It's easy.
Another rebellion?
But you like us, right?
You're all right.
One paper. Thanks.
What happened? In Marnus Pell.
I've got a contact who works this area. Let's see if he's around.
What about this? You've got a good eye. I was starting to think my good neighbor. Okay. The charm's good against all manner of curses and manipulation. Fair price. And you won't find better in the Circle District.
You won't find better at the Circle, but you will off the docks. For half the price and twice the enchantment.
Nev.
Alec?
Oh, if you say it's... thanks. I'll pass. Sorry.
Hey, if I'd known, I would have told you. Come back next week. I'll buy another paper.
I write them myself. The Magisters. They don't print the truth.
Most honest thing I'll hear today. What about you? Is it something you're buying, my friend?
Rook. And if I wanted overpriced charms, I'd go to Tala's on the narrow road.
Local. Who do you think sold them to her? What about you, Nev? You cost me a sale there.
Just looking for gossip.
Not much that'd interest you.
We chased a relic through Docktown. The buyer was Venatori, but the smuggler belonged to the Thread Crime Syndicate. You're a Thread?
We don't deal with cultists. Your smuggler broke the rules. She's out.
And the Venatori?
There's been more in Docktown. Boss says it's under control. But between us, I don't like it.
Then it's worth keeping an eye on. If you hear anything.
So will you.
You know a member of the Thread Crime Syndicate. Personally.
Don't tell me you're surprised.
I'd expect as much. You're not afraid of a tough crowd.
Draw the right lines, get the job done. It's how you sleep at night. Come on. There's more to see. If we want more gossip, we need more papers. Let's head to the south side.
You've lived in Docktown your whole life?
Since I was born. Unless I'm out of the city for a job. Had a few apartments around town. The current one, it's not the lighthouse, but it's mine.
You've been an investigator for a while.
It's not a short story.
You've made it this far. Is there a secret?
Trust people enough to get things done, not enough to get you killed.
And that lets you sleep at night?
If I'm lucky.
Circle District gossip. Read the latest.
You know, Varric hired me not far from here. Come on, Slick. Stop a ritual. Save the world. It'll be fun. I should have said no. Oh, I think we've got enough.
What now?
Now I'm starving, and I know the best place in the city.
Huh?
The lighthouse doesn't have this.
What?
A view of the water. I don't know, it helps me think. But we've got places to be. Come on.
You! This fish won't eat itself. You said next time you were here it was free.
Sure thing, Hal. Next time.
Yeah. It's always something.
Joining Varric. Us. Do you really wish you'd said no?
No. I just have a bad habit of picking jobs that go sideways. You think I'd learn?
The world won't save itself.
It never does. Varric said this job would end with Solus. We'd stop a ritual, then I'd walk away. But those gods escaped. Not much of a win. And if the world falls, the city goes too. It's not like I'll find work then.
Is that why you said yes? To save Minrathous?
People will tell you Minrathous is broken. And they're right. It's corrupt. Petty. Saving the world won't fix it. I take the small wins, Rook. Hal's serving fish another day. Getting past the next scrape alive. Sometimes you're lucky. Sometimes you get more. But the tables always turn. It's better if you know it's coming.
So you're ready for the worst?
No, but you're not surprised.
Whatever keeps you alive.
Today, it's Hal's fish. I live for Hal's fish.
Small wins?
Small wins.
Always eager for your business.
see you again.
How is training?
Fine. It's over.
Look down.
The Alluvian's working. We're finding help. It's not a bad start.
This started with us failing to finish the last job.
Okay, it's not a bad second start.
Maybe the third will be perfect.
A fine evening, is it not, my friends?
The market never stops, even during occupation.
I've always loved market days, except for when they're occupied by Antam.
Cafe later?
Good night for you.
Bunch of Antam stopped me on my way to work. Demanded to know who I was and where I was going.
What gives them the right?
There's the place. Keep your eyes open. We may not be the only ones interested.
He was my cousin!
Got on. Don't worry. Taya and Viago sent us.
Who are you? Just kill all the Antam! They killed Darren! They killed my cousin!
They're hitting us from afar!
They're weak on the left. Got them!
That's done. Are you Jacobus?
Darren, my cousin. They... Please, you have to finish Darrett's contract. It's about the Butcher. My cousin was going to spy on the Butcher. He told me we'd pick up the contract from a dead drop. But then... someone has to finish this for Darrett. Please.
We will. You should get back to the diamond.
I will, just give me a minute.
We should see if... That note said Dareth should pick up the contract at the usual place across from Taya and Viago. Just follow the marks. Maybe a mark one crow would leave for another?
I saw something like that on a wall we passed earlier.
Let's go look. That looks like a crow mark. A kind of quick splatter you can throw. That's gotta be Dareth's trail. Keep an eye out.
So this is Treviso now.
Have some hope. The crows haven't given up.
They won't last much longer if the Antam have their way.
Another mark this way.
I'm glad the market's still open during occupation. It probably helps to feel that some things are...
Here's another crow mark. Our next crow mark. This is where the marks lead. Dareth's contract must be here somewhere. The butcher is making poison. Comic.
I've heard of it. It does things to your mind. Nothing pleasant.
If I were the Butcher, it'd be a good way to keep people in line. The Antam brought in a comic master to mix the poison. He's at the garrison. We stop him there before this goes any further. Hang on.
I'm sorry Bataris got away.
You win some, you lose some.
Would you like me to get you something? Tea? Cake? Arrow in his temple? Whatever you need.
Rook?
So...
Yes?
Nothing.
Back on the ground soon.
Get...
Yes!
Take them out, quick!
Take your shot.
We're in. Let's find the comic master.
I am will made flesh. So much flesh. Finally, to fight the butcher's art has come to me. Prove my
It's done. The comic master's dead.
Good. That's good.
First things first. Let's destroy the rest of the poison. Then we figure out what was going on here. That's the last of the poison, thankfully. Let's look for anything else that explains what's happening. Wait, this note says that wasn't all the comic. The Butcher's angry because some went missing.
Who got their hands on it?
No idea. But the note does mention the Butcher's inside traitor. The occupation had help. Taya and Viago need to know they were right.
Are you out of your minds?
Someone had to act.
They most certainly did not. I told you crows to stay out of this.
Out of what? Defending our home?
If we had a stronger civil government instead of a bunch of circus criminals, the Antam wouldn't have a foothold in the first place.
Who is this?
This is Governor Evenchi. They have concerns.
My concern is how you've endangered the city.
We're defending Antiva.
These protections are in place for the good of everyone. You act without oversight.
We crows are the oversight.
And yet, here we are, awash in Antam. And now, you've angered the Butcher.
It's bigger than whatever it is you're whining about. The gods are corrupting some of the Antam.
And the Butcher?
You two were right. He had help taking the city. Human traitors.
I didn't want to believe it. Killing the Butcher does nothing if someone could just sell us out again.
I'd start right here. You Talons are known for infighting and betrayal.
You're accusing them? One of their crows died for this contract.
That's enough. Rook, thank you for finishing that contract. The only reward we have is to ask you for more.
I'm here for whatever hurts the gods.
Evenchi is right about one thing. The Butcher will not like that we're fighting back.
We need to be ready. Rook, I will have every crow tracking this traitor and the gods, and we will send word when we find something.
The stakes are too high. This should be left to proper officials.
Go back to filing trade receipts, Evenchi. The crows rule Antiva.
And Treviso will be free. With or without you, Governor.
Rook.
Good, you're here.
Thank you for making the arrangements, Thea.
For Katerina? How could I do otherwise? I'm so sorry, Lucanis. This must be such a blow. Rook, thank you for coming with him. I need Juan de la Muerte to plan this. His cousin has been no help at all.
I'm sorry, Thea. This is just too much right now.
What do you need us to do?
There's a lot to plan. But first, I need the ashes.
Ashes?
Make it help us. Yes, the ashes. Katerina's ashes. From the cremation?
Oh, yes, of course. I'll get them to you right away.
Hilario, what happened?
What do you mean?
Katerina, how? How did the Venatori get to her? When? Where? In the estate? In the city? How did they get past our people? What did they use? Poison? Blades? I need to know.
Cousin, stop. You can't dwell on this. It'll drive you mad.
I'm not dwelling. Zara killed the first Talon. I have to know how if I'm going to stop her.
I told you. I'm handling it.
Boys, enough of this. We have other things to discuss.
My apologies, Andrea. Continue without me. I'll get you the ashes.
Something's going on with him. I don't know what.
When he's not on the job, my cousin always has his head in the clouds.
Hilario can be a handful. But this? The only time I've seen him like this was when Lucanis died. You're worrying, aren't you? What will people say if they hear the demon of Virantium has a big, soft heart?
He's been careless at times, but never when his own life was on the line. Zara took down the first Talon. Anyone could be next, and my cousin doesn't want to think about it?
You have a point. It's not like Hilario to ignore a knife coming at him.
What do you need from me for the funeral?
Come. I'll get us some drinks, and we can make the arrangements.
Our house owes you for handling all of this.
Katerina was family. Can you imagine what she'd say if she saw us all like this?
She'd be furious, especially at Hilario, as usual.
She was a smart lady.
She was the best. Of all the Talons, Katerina was the sharpest.
Which makes it even harder to believe this could happen. Nobody could catch her unaware. And now Hilario's got his head in the clouds.
I'll have my people keep an eye on him for you.
Thank you, Thea.
Go on. I'll let you know if something comes up.